huge competition, and actually it will be the experience you give them. People can go to top-ranked B schools, they can, believe me, but sometimes they might pay a lot of money, they might have that experience, but actually they don't always get the experience that they want to do. Just as a little example, my youngest daughter's been to some top universities in the country. Her view is that when she was in the top one, they didn't have enough time for her as an undergraduate. They were too interested in their research. She was the second-class citizen, and yet she was their top student in her master's and undergraduate. She went at the latest university where she's doing a PhD, and they're the top-ranked research institution for her subject out of the UK, and they put students first, even though they're active researchers. But what they're doing is they're bringing their research into the classroom, they're very clear about what they do. Now, that's what, she's taken that away. She's now teaching in her second year as a PhD student, she's doing seminars, and she's taking that ethos into her teaching with young students, because she wants to be an academic in the future. So she's learning from the best. She's got a role model that she can talk about her research, she can relate to the students and that kind of thing. So those are the kind of things that you need to do. So hygiene factors. And if you've got colleagues who are not quite pulling their weight and you're all pulling your weight, you as a team need to have a chat with them. Because you need to bring them along. What's the problem? It might be something that they've got, but you need to be thinking about that because it's that experience. So I think that's where I'm going to leave it. I hope you enjoyed the session with me, but also, give me some feedback. I can take it. I've got bits to give. Okay. Forget what you liked about it, but what things could we have done better? What things could we improve on for this afternoon? We're running this again this afternoon. Come on. Continuous improvement. What can we do better?
Add-on input to the session. The session was definitely wonderful.
Yes.
It was a brainstorming session and it helped us a lot in terms of introspecting and understanding of strengths, weaknesses, and so on. One part of it is that maybe what we are looking at it is the tangible part of the teaching and the learning process. There is also intangible teaching and intangible learning happening at all levels. I need not necessarily have to be a teacher always. Even while I'm teaching my students, I am parallelly learning for the entire stretch of 1.5 hour duration by understanding that not just how to teach, but also I learn how not to teach my students as well. So silence is a best learner. Silence, it provides a platform for us. I become a silent learner, I also become a silent teacher, and there are situations also that teaches us. Say for example, Saddam Hussein, before he was getting executed, that clip was there all over the television, all over the world. When I was just looking at it, I just learned that a person is facing the worst situation in his life. In another 2 seconds, he's going to be executed. But I could see that he refused to wear that hood. So even in the worst of the situation, what I can learn is that, yes, I got to be courageous. I was very afraid of lying down on the CT scan machine. I was thinking something big is going to happen. Look at this person, who's facing that situation very bravely and he refused to wear that hood. So that situation also makes us to learn. So what we can discuss further is that not just the tangible part of it, we can also bring in the intangible components, which brings in confidence both as a teacher as well as a learner.
So you're learning from every aspect of your life, and you're drawing from every aspect. Because you're a whole, it's a good point, Marla, you're a whole person. You're not part of the person. You don't leave a person at home when you come to work. You bring the whole person with you. So you bring all of that, and each day there will be something that you've learned, and you think about, well, how can I incorporate that in my learning? And what you learned from that situation was about personal courage. Somebody else might have seen that clip and seen arrogance. They might have seen inflexibility. They might have seen something else. But that's why we're all different. So, thinking about little everyday situations that you could bring in to illustrate learning, in the classroom, and you learn a lot. Thanks very much for that. So anything else? What else?
One suggestion. Now that you have seen what we have to say about the outcomes and objectives, just a little bit of international exposure where you could also give us examples what other universities worldwide are doing exactly in terms of inspirational teaching. What are the techniques that they are using? Maybe in the Indian context, and we can probably use it. Some practical examples.
Yeah.
This is the last question.
I'd love to. I mean, if I'd had enough time, I could have done, but I needed to get you to a different place. I had them in some people have heard this story. I had them in my office before I came to the UK, because I got some fantastic students from another big school in India who had an exchange with us, and they were wonderful students. And they're very, very polite, you know. They were not really happy at giving me feedback. I said, come on, tell me. So they said, well, in India, they give you 200 meters to run, but they tell you exactly how you're going to run it, and what you're going to do, and what you're going to wear, and everything says. In the UK, they give you 100 meters to run, and they say, don't care if you hop it, you skip it, you do it with no clothes on, you do it with a top hat on, and they said, we didn't know what to do in that situation, because what we were asking them to do was not concerned. But what I learned from those students was, it wasn't that we wanted to be all UK-centric or all Indian-centric, which is very directive, and what is very undirective in postgraduate teaching. It was that you need, somebody used the word, a judicious blend. You need to think about what you need, you know, what you want to do. So it's not, you don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. You learn from the international experiences, but you think about the Indian context right here. But it's not doing one thing. So we don't let you go away, everybody does role plays or collage work. You do, you know, you do something different every day. Okay, well, thanks very much.